Hidden among the valleys and hills of Wales lies a rare and ancient world, the temperate rainforest. These isolated pockets of woodland, shrouded in legend and teeming with life, are among the most precious habitats on Earth. I'm Lisa Jane Brown. I'm an actor and musician, and I'm lucky enough to live near one of these special places.
As an artist, the forest has always been a place of wonder and inspiration to me, with a cultural significance so deep it's influenced Welsh musicians and literature for centuries. But when it comes to the biology and the delicate balance that sustains these forests, there's so much more I don't know.
Tragically, despite covering just a tiny part of the world's surface, these precious rainforests are under threat. But across Wales, a passionate group of organisations are working tirelessly to bring them back to life.
I want to understand what's so special about these woodlands and the threats that they face, and what's been done to ensure a long and prosperous future for these majestic woodlands.
So I'm going on a journey to see for myself the important work that's been undertaken to tackle some of the threats facing Wales's temperate rainforests, protecting them for generations to come. It's a journey that will take me from north to south Wales through stunning landscapes and over rugged terrain.
These forests are so special, not just to the Welsh nation, but globally. I understand that conserving these forests isn't easy, but I'm hoping that the work that's already undertaken is a springboard, ensuring long-term protection well into the future.
I'm starting my journey at Coed Ganllwyd, a National Trust-owned site in Eryri National Park, where I'm meeting Gethin Davies, Senior Project Manager for the Celtic Rainforests Life project.
Felly, Gethin, dwi'n gwybod dipyn am arwyddocâd diwylliannol coedydd glaw tymherus Cymru, ond be sy'n gwneud nhw mor arbennig yn ecolegol?
Wel, fel ti'n gweld, o edrych o gwmpas, Lisa, maen nhw'n hefyd hyfryd, gwyrdd iawn, a mae'n siŵr ymysg y cynefinoedd mwyaf cyfoethog sydd gynnon ni o ran bioamrywiaeth sicr yma yn y Ynysoedd Prydeinig.
Felly, be sy'n gwneud y goedwig yma yn goedwig geltaidd neu'n goedwig dymherus?
Wel, mae'r term coedwig glaw tymherus yn wir i bob coedwig glaw tymherus dros y byd. Yn Prydain, da ni wedi reid yr enw coedwig glaw geltaidd iddo fo, oherwydd da ni'n tueddu i ffeindio fo mewn ardaloedd sydd yn gysylltiedig â diwylliant a hanes Celtiaid. Felly, ardal gorllewinol yr Alban, gogledd orllewin Lloegr, Cymru, draw yn Iwerddon, a wedyn pocedi lawr yn de orllewin Lloegr hefyd. Be sydd yn neud o'n goedwig glaw Celtaidd? Wel, y lleithder di'r peth mwyaf. Llefydd glyb ofnadwy, ar gyfer taledd dros 200 cm y flwyddyn o law. Yn ogystal â'r glaw, mae gennych chi lot o'r ceunentydd, fel ti'n gweld tu ôl i ni. Mae'r lleithder sydd yn cael ei creu gan y ceunentydd yna yn cael ei dal i fewn gyn y coed ac un ochrau serth y ceunentydd. A dyna mae'r isplanhigion wrth i bodda hefo, a dyna pam maen nhw'n...
Ffynnu mewn ffordd.
Ffynnu yma, ia, na chdi.
Be ydy'r bygythiadau i fan hyn ar coedwigoedd Celtaidd?
Yn amlwg newid hinsawdd, ond mae hwnnw tu allan i'n gafal ni ryw radda fel prosiect. Be da ni isio wneud ydy mynd i'r afal a rhai o'r bygythiadau da ni'n gallu rheoli. Pethau fel rhywogaethau ymledol enghraifft, mae hwnnw'n wedi cael ei adnabod fel un o'r bygythiadau mwyaf i'r cynefin yma. A hefyd, da ni edrych i wneud yn iawn canrifoedd o camreolaeth yn y coedlanna yma. Yn anffodus, yn hanesyddol, mae lot o coedlanna cynhenid sydd gynnon ni wedi cael ei ailblannu hefo coed coniffer enghraifft.
Keen to find out more about the work being carried out as part of the LIFE project, I'm on my way to an RSPB Cymru reserve at Coed Garth Gell to meet Gwion ap Dafydd. He's part of a small team overseeing the removal of an invasive plant species from within the woodland and surrounding areas.
Gwion, ti a'r tîm wedi bod yn brysur yma yn trio cael gwarad ar rywogaeth arbennig o blanhigyn. Be 'di'r gwaith da chi wedi bod yn neud?
So, Yn y swydd fi, dwi wedi bod yn trio cael gwared o'r rhododendron, sef planhigyn sy'n sefyll tu ôl ni fan hyn. Mae yna gwahanol fathau o rhododendron ar gael, ond y fath ponticum, dyn ni'n trio cael gwared o.
Pam da ni'n trio cael gwarad o'r planhigyn yma?
So mae'r ponticum fath o rhododendron yn rhywogaeth ymledol, estron. Yn syml, dwi ddim fod fan hyn, so mae wedi cael ei fewnforio.
Be di'r broblem felly? Be mae'r prydferthwch yma'n neud i'r goedwig sydd mor ddrwg?
So mae fe'n trechu planhigion brodorol. Mewn fan hyn nawr, does dim byd yn gallu tyfu mwy na lai o dan y rhododendron. Mae jyst yn creu gorchydd, ddim yn gadael dim golau i mewn. So os mae'r planhigion ar y llawr y goedwig ddim yn tyfu, fatha'r mwsogle, y llysiau'r afu a cen a ballu, does dim pryfed. Heb pryfed, dim adar, a dim fatha'r natur brodorol cynhenid yn bodoli yn y goedwig, os mae'r rhododendron yn cymryd drost.
A dwi'n sbio yn amgylch chi'n fama de, mae o'n drwch dydi, mae o'n bob man. Sut ti'n sicrhau bod chdi'n lladd y peth yn iawn?
Dyn ni'n cael contractwyr mewn i wneud y gwaith o gwaredu y rhododendron. Maen nhw fatha wneud tyllau yn y bonyn, a wedyn maen nhw'n rhoi bach o gwenwyn yn y tyllau yma. A wedyn mae'r planhigyn yn cymryd fyny y gwenwyn ac yn y pen draw yn marw.
Felly, da chi wedi cael gwarad ar cryn dipyn, dwi'n gallu gweld tu ôl i ni fanna, mae heina wedi marw. Faint mwy o waith sgynnoch chi wneud yma?
So, dyn ni wedi gwneud andros lot o waith fel y prosiect. Gyda ni cytundebau i gwaredu rhododendron ar dros 8,000 o hectari dros y parc. Ond fel ti'n gallu gweld, mae yna dal gwaith i wneud.
Speaking to Gwion made me realise what impact human activity has had on the rainforest, and that the threats aren't always obvious. Just down the road at Coed Llwybr Caerynwch, Ella Lewis, who works as an outreach officer for Coed Cadw, wants to show me how even in woodlands seemingly full of healthy trees, the rainforest is still under threat.
Ella, we're in an area where to me looks like there's perfectly healthy trees here. What exactly is the threat to the rainforest?
So this is what we would call a pause woodland. So this is a plantation on an ancient woodland site, but it has been cut down and replanted with these conifer trees.
So how did the conifers get here?
So conifer planting has been happening in the UK since around the 17th century, but it really kicked up after the First World War as we had a real need for timber in use in mining. So these conifers were perfect for that because they were fast growing.
Why can't both the type of trees be in harmony together here?
The rare species that we have here, the lichens, the wildlife, the fungi, the insects, they aren't able to thrive amongst these trees as they would with our own native trees. You can see that they produce a lot of shade, and that will shade out the natural regeneration of our native trees like oak and silver birch.
To show me how the restoration teams are facing the problem head-on, Ella suggested I meet Adam Thorogood, an ancient woodland specialist who currently works for Plant Life Cymru, who's been encouraging local landowners to protect the native woodlands on their land.
Just being here, it feels like we're in an ancient site.
This is an ancient woodland, which means there are plants growing here which don't grow in any other habitat. And it's a temperate rainforest, so again, we've got a range of really specialist plants growing here. The conifers have grown up around all of that and are casting a lot of shade on the ground, but also on the broadleaf trees that we're trying to save. So the work we've been doing has been trying to increase the light levels here in the wood. So the conifers, as I said, they've grown up really quickly into the crowns of the broadleaf trees. So halothermy is just opening up a halo of light around the crown of the tree. So it's really important to do.
That makes me feel quite emotional that the work that you've done has actually enabled the native trees to just breathe a bit more again.
Yeah, I think it was a kind of first aid operation, really, emergency work. If we hadn't have carried it out when we did, then it might have been too late for the temperate rainforest habitat. We might have been just looking at a conifer plantation. So I think the LIFE project came in just at the right time.
Just down the road at Coed Bychesau, Aled Thomas is one of many landowners who has benefited from the support of Celtic Rainforest Life, using some of the techniques described by Adam to restore his small woodland.
Aled, eich coedlan anfarwol chi di hon. Dydwch chi fi chydig bach am ei hanes i?
Brynas i y goedlan yma rhyw 19 mlynedd yn ôl, a oedd isio tenio, coed tân, ond o'n i'n sylweddoli bod genna I ddim yr adnoddau na'r amser I wneud y gwaith o'n isio. Ac y gwaith o'n isio oedd troi yr goedlan o rhan fwyaf yn goed conifer I goed calad. O dan Project Life ar coedwig glaw, dwi wedi gallu cyflogi bobl, contractwyr lleol I gwmpo'r coed achos mae yna sgil ofnadwy I drio peidio wneud gormod o lanast a fel ydych chi'n gweld maen nhw wedi wneud job arbennig.
A fel ydych chi'n dweud, mae'r pethau yma'n cymryd amser, dydy dio ddim yn just rhywbeth dros nos. Mae natur angen I feithrin a mae angen tynerwch a mae angen, pobl sy'n gwybod beth maen nhw'n wneud.
Traffath efo bobl wan ydy maen nhw eisiau pob peth yn sydyn. Mae coedlan, rhaid fi wneud penderfyniad yn fan hyn sy'n ffeithio'r coedlan am hanner cam mlynedd a mwy na thebyg. Felly rhaid ti fod yn reit garcus ar ffordd ti yn rheoli coedlanau fel hyn. Ond efo chdi bach o bres a chdi bach o help, dwi'n meddwl bod ni wedi wneud job bendigedig.
I've come back to Coed Garth Gell to meet Julia Harrison from the RSPB Cymru, who wants to show me another ingenious way of controlling the plant life in the rainforest.
Hi, Julia.
Hi.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
In your workspace.
I know, isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. So can you tell me a bit about what you actually do here?
Well, when we took over this wood as part of the Celtic Rainforest project, it was kind of overgrown. So we did a bit of thinning work and then we've introduced cattle.
Wow, cattle. I mean, what do they do here?
So they're walking through the woodlands, keeping the structure open, pushing down some of the trees, eating some but not all of the bramble and opening up the understory. They eat the ivy off the bottoms of the trees and that's where the rarest lichens and bryophytes grow. As they move through the wood dunging, like that encourages flies and then that benefits things like pied flycatcher and wood warbler, and these woods are really important for those kinds of woodland birds. So I do have a couple of pictures of what it was like before. So this picture is kind of looking over there where you can see the two trees.
Okay.
And you've got really, really dense regenerating trees and a really high brambly understory and nothing else really growing.
Yeah.
So now you can see there's ferns, there's bluebells, there's foxgloves, there's light reaching the forest floor, there's different types of grass. And yeah, so we did a bit of thinning and the cattle have done the rest.
Everything about them is amazing.
Yeah, they're meant to be in woods.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to Gwenffrwd Dinas to meet Sam, a local grazier whose cattle have been grazing the land for some time, to see why he wanted to get on board with the project and what impact it's had on the local ecology.
Come on then.
Oh, wow. How many of them are there?
So we started off with groups of about 4 or 5 for a few days at a time initially, and found that actually the woodland's able to sustain a larger number of cows than we thought for longer, and that to achieve the trampling and the conservation outcomes we've needed slightly larger numbers. They're well suited in terms of how they browse. Rather than grazing everything, they'll take leaves off of the trees and they'll take some of the bramble leaves and then they'll move on, so they're not overgrazing the ground.
Wow. I can see how they're kind of churning up the land and sort of just their physicality is kind of, part of that whole ecosystem of it all, you know?
That's right. Every bit of soil disturbed or moss disturbed on a tree is opening up a niche for plants and animals that otherwise wouldn't be there. So, yeah, they're doing a very good job.
With my journey nearing its end, I've learned how important projects like the management of invasive species, ancient woodland restoration and conservation grazing are for ensuring the survival of the temperate rainforests. But the LIFE project has also been about educating the public so that the temperate rainforests continue to be looked after for generations to come. I've come to meet Anita Diamond from Antir Natur, who's been working with Celtic Rainforests LIFE to deliver education sessions to local schools.
Alli di ddeutha ni chydig am be ti di bod yn neud efo'r prosiect LIFE?
Dwi wedi gweithio ar yr elfen gyda ysgolion, cysylltu gyda cymunedau a'r adnoddau addysg i gyd mwyn galluogi nhw i dysgu dros eu hunan am y goedwig a'r pwysigrwydd, y cynefin a'r natur a bethau.
A pen oeddech chi allan yn y goedwig yn mynd ar antur, pa fath o bethau oeddech chi'n neud wedyn, yn wedi cerdded y gwmpas, ond be oedd yna i'r bobl ifanc yma sbio arno fo?
Wel, ond dibynnu ar y tymor, a'r goedwig, so bob safle ar wahân, cos o'n i'n mynd â ysgolion i safle goedwig oedd ddim yn bell ohonyn nhw. A hefyd, o'n i'n rhoi cyfle iddyn nhw jyst diddori yn y coedwig. Mae'n hynod bwysig i'r cenhedlaeth nesaf i gwybod am y natur yma. So, da ni'n sôn, da ni wedi cael gymaint o colled o natur. Mae bob cenhedlaeth sy'n dod, maen nhw'n cychwyn o fan a lle mae natur wedi cael ei difetha. So, os da ni'n gallu mynd â plant i gynefinoedd sydd yn enghraifft gwych o goedwig law, wel, maen nhw'n dechrau dysgu a maen nhw'n dechrau parchu a dall be ydy cynefin pwysig a be da ni'n anelu am mwyn gallu gwarchod natur ynde.
It's clear raising awareness of these magical habitats is vital to their long-term survival. To end my journey, I spoke to representatives from the Life Partner organisations to hear their thoughts on the successes of the project.
Mae'n bwysig i gael partneriaeth fel yna yn gweithio yn y goedwig law. Clirio rhododendron, adfer coetir hynafol ac ysbrydoli pobl hefyd. Mae'n bwysig iawn enghraifft gwneud yn siŵr bod pobl ifanc yn cael y sgiliau maen nhw angen gwarchod y goedwig law.
Mae addysg wrth gwrs yn rhan bwysig o hwnna, addysg o'r cenhedlaeth nesaf i ddeall beth sydd dynnu yma, a hefyd ymwybyddiaeth cyffredinol gyda bobl i ddeall pwy mor bwysig yw hwn a pwy mor fregus yw yn y pen draw.
20 mlynedd yn ôl, doedd neb yn gwybod bod yna goedwig law yng Nghymru, a rwan, os mae pobl yn gwybod pa mor bwysig ydy'r cynefin, maen nhw'n mynd i wneud be mae angen, i wneud yn siŵr bod y cenhedlau nesaf yn gallu mwynhau llefydd fel yma.
Mae'r partneriaid eraill wedi bod yn hanfodol i llwyddiant y prosiect. Mae graddfa'r prosiect yma'n enfawr, mae hynny wedi bod yn lwyddiant mawr, mae'r partneriaid yma gyd wedi bod yn bwysig iawn i ni.
Gobeithio yn y dyfodol fydd yna fwy o fuddsoddiad, llwn ni cynnal y gwaith sydd wedi cael ei wneud trwy Life yn barod.
Mae'n hanfodol bwysig bod y gwaith gadwraeth ddim yn stopio ar y pwynt yna. Dwi'n meddwl y nod rwan ydy i byrhau, i trio tynnu fewn cronfeydd ariannol newydd, i byrhau efo'r cydweithio hefo'r partneriaid.
Mae yna llawn llwyth o bethau mae bobl yn gallu gwneud i helpu. Ymuno â gwaith fel gwaith gwirfoddol mewn wahanol mudiadau yn cynnal gyda Parc Eryri, falle, gyda'r RSPB, yr Ymddiriedolaeth Genedlaethol.
When I first started on this journey, I knew I had a lot to learn. But what I discovered was far deeper than I ever imagined. What I've realised is it's not just about the land, it's about the people too. From local landowners to school children, I've seen how connection and education is key to making a lasting change. And that gives me real hope, because if we all play our part, we can keep these magical rainforests alive for generations to come.